Welcome to Locked On Astros, your go-to spot for Astros domination. Lance McCullers Jr. was nasty on the mound, tying his career high with 12 punch-outs, while Zach DeCenzo launched a rocket to tie the game. Caratini scored 2 for their 15th comeback win of the season. Let's talk about this, winning 17 of 22 in their last home games. We'll get started right now.
Jainel Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on X at Eric Talk Astros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. But on Instagram, you got to use that underscore because somebody stole my identity. And back to the bullpen on YouTube, on iHeartRadio. And, you can find me at Stros411, where I'm always positive, always Stros.
Hey guys, thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your daily listen. Between Brett and I, we have 16 years of combined podcasting experience between me on Talking Stros on Sports Talk 790. Brett does Back to the Bullpen with Mike Stanton. So guys, go ahead and make us part of your daily routine, whether it's on your way to work, on your way home from work, or even at work. Go and make us your first listen, and thank you for that. So today's episode is sponsored by, there's a lot of people. I guess you would say Victor Caratini is likely going to be your player to game because he had the big critical hit here, but Lance McCullers probably had the most impact in today's game because everything, all the bad stuff people were saying about him, he came out and delivered today. Also, the bats, they came through. They got the Astros to 5 games above 500 for the first time this season. And we got the news that we're kind of dreading. Ronel Blanco, what's going on with him? We'll talk about that next. But Lance McCullers, this is a guy that fans have been ripping on for years. He can't stay healthy. He bought a coffee shop. He needs to go be a barista or something. I remember somebody saying something like that. I don't know who.
Wow.
But
okay. Friendly fire. I see how it is today. Okay.
But Lance McCullers, after only lasting 1/3 of inning his first start this year, giving up 7 runs, he has bounced back. He has recovered.
Right.
And he did what the Astros absolutely needed. He gave them 6 innings, a quality start today. And I'm talking about 3 earned runs, 5 hits, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts. That is 2 strikeouts per inning, guys.
Yeah, Eric, he looked good. He hadn't done that since 2019, I believe. And he had a heavy dependence on his knuckle curve. I want to show you some numbers. He's not the pitcher that he used to be, right? And so you see here 22 knuckle curves, and on those 22 knuckle curves, he induced 10 of his 18 swings and misses. And when you look at the whiffs that he produced right here, you had 4 whiffs on the slider, 3 whiffs on the sinker, again, 1 on the knuckle curve, and heck, 1 on the 4-seam fastball. Lance McCullers Jr. has absolutely earned the right to get all of the praise that he is getting right now. He has worked harder than probably anybody, and the grind is something that we would like to think we understand as fans, but we don't. And the doubt that had set in his mind and the pushing through that he's done, this is the kind of stuff that when you're coaching young athletes, you try to tell them to trust the process. You try to tell them not to get discouraged. You try to tell them there's going to be bumps in the roads. You're going to get knocked down kind of thing. But this is a real life story. This is a real life Rocky recovery. I mean, if you go back to all the Rocky movies, whenever Rocky and Apollo were running on the beach, okay, and Mick had just died, Rocky could not beat Apollo Creed because he couldn't get past the loss of Mick. But then when he started realizing he was Rocky Balboa, then he could beat anybody. And Lance McCullers just this last year had to realize, you know what? I'm a pretty darn good pitcher. I've done some pretty special things with this club. And if I'm healthy, I'm going to contribute. And Eric, I still am proud of my comeback player of the pick this year for the American League. I believe it's going to be Lance McCullers Jr.
Yes. So we are moving on from Locked On Rocky podcast to talking about the Locked On Astros again.
Well, you understand the analogy, though,
yes,
right?
I get it.
Right.
Yes,
Okay,
this is definitely he could contemplated retiring. He talked about just stepping away because of all the injuries, all the setbacks. So yeah, your analogy is good here, but he has developed the breaking pitches. Even Mark Kotze said that his breaking pitches was just unbelievable today. And sometimes you got to give props to where you need to. And Lance McCullers just outpitched us today. He just looked really good out there. And so, yes, he did give up the 3 runs, but overall, the 6 innings, that was impressive. The fact that he pitched 102 pitches, 69 of them were strikes. He was efficient. He had the quality start. A lot of positive things we're starting to see from Lance McCullers. This is what the Astros need, especially in the news from what's going on with Ronel Blanco, what happened with Hayden Wesneski. The Astros needed somebody like Lance McCullers to step up, and he has. And he's taken up that next step forward. And this is what Astros fans have wanted. Yes, I know a lot of people I know you had a long conversation with somebody in X about, well, I think they should just DFA him and just eat his contract. Why? This is what this guy can do. And Brett and I, we don't know everything. But when we tell you to be patient with a guy like Lance McCullers, he hasn't pitched in 2 years. Be patient with him.
Yeah.
This is what the outcome is. That's what Joe Espada was waiting for. This is what the Astros were waiting for.
Yeah, and someone said, well, I would like to see him do it against elite talent. That's not the point here. The point is he was set up perfectly to face the Oakland Athletics. But believe it or not, the Oakland Athletics are also professionals. It's not like they wheeled in a single A or short season team to play the Houston Astros.
Right.
Jack Wilson was up there. He struck him out, and he's the hardest hitter to strike out this year in Major League Baseball. So, you can say what you want. And it's so funny. Any amount of success that our guys have, someone tries to find a reason to look at it in a negative light. At the end of the day, you need Lance McCullers to be successful. You can have all the shade you want to for him. You can have all the doubts you want to.
Right.
But if you are a fan of this team, Eric, you need him to be healthy, because we have guys that aren't healthy and we have more Tommy John surgeries, and it's not going to get better anytime soon. Yeah.
And I don't know if it's the fact that Wesneski was a reliever, then he became a starter. You have other teams that have the players that are doing the transition. Blanco, we'll talk about him in a little bit, but we don't know if it's not just the Astros. A lot of people are pointing to the pitch clock, and maybe that is leading to a lot of these Tommy John surgeries. It's becoming a little bit more regular, but just also these pitchers are throwing harder. They're focusing on the pitch movement, the spin rate and everything. So you've got all of this going on, and you're still having to pitch a ball game. So what McCullers is doing, this is impressive. The fact that he wasn't sure if he could throw a breaking pitch ever again, and his slider is doing good. His earlier in the game, he started with the sinker, getting the outs, and then he kind of switched to the slider and the curveball. But when we see Lance McCullers dominating with his breaking pitches, that's where we know where he feels confident and he's getting job done.
And this is a key win, because since we're talking about pitching and why it matters, I mean, opposing the Astros, Luis Severino, even though he hasn't been great in Sacramento, he's been great. He's been solid on the road. And this is the Athletics' biggest signing that they've ever done in their club's history. So you pin yourself up against a really solid pitcher, and you put on the mound a guy that you don't know how he's going to do, because, because of the small sample size. Lance was up to the test. Severino was not. And then what did they do? They got to the bullpen for I almost said Oakland, I'm going to call them Oakland A's.
Brett, I'm gonna start fining you every time you mention Sacramento.
I'm not employed by Major League Baseball. You cannot find me. I'm just
right,
here
guys.
so I don't get fined, right?
Thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us, and we'll be back talking more about where the Astros are, and hopefully the Mariners lose tonight.
Well, let me just tell you, if you're looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious, crack into the good source of protein with wonderful pistachios. It's one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% your daily value. Plus, you will be packed with fiber, also better for you unsaturated fats. It also has 9 essential amino acids. We're not talking about empty calories. Stop grabbing those snacks that don't do anything for you, don't give you any energy, but get the snack that packs a protein punch. So get snacking and get cracking with the snack that is there for you day and night, whether you're in the car, in the meeting, or on a podcast. So check out wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Make us first listen Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Go ahead and check us out. The Astros, for the first time all season and all of 2025, they are 5 games above 500. 5 games. They have a chance. If the Mariners lose tonight, they have a chance to get into first place. I believe the Astros are now, well, I think they're tied as of right now. So, but the Astros are getting to where you want them to be as an Astros fan. And I know a lot of people say, well, the Astros started off so bad. They had such a bad season last year. In the last 162 game seasons, this is from Brian McTaggart, the Astros have a 94-68 record, while the Yankees have a 91-71 record. What the Astros have done in the past 162 games, I know it's not a full season, but it's 162 games, which is a full season. They have played pretty darn good baseball. They got off to a kind of bad start to start the season, Brett, but they just struggled offensively. The pitching has been there all year.
Yes, it has been there all year, but this is what is important. Okay. We know that they won their 15th come from behind victory today. Okay. We know they're 5 games above 500. We know 2 games ago, they went off on home runs. This is the Jose Altuve, the first game of this home stand. He hits 2 home runs. Then he gets another 2 home runs towards the end versus Oakland. Versus Sacramento. And now you have to ask yourself, is what they're doing offensively sustainable? Now, Eric, if they continue to do what they're doing and they don't rely on the long ball more, I think sustaining this level of winning is not going to be as easy as you think. 53 to 58% of runs scored in Major League Baseball are via the home run. They are towards the bottom. What they have to do is continue trending upward, not just getting 10 or 11 hits in like 3 games in a row. Right. They need to continue to hit for power. If they can hit for power and they can get more launch on the ball and they can get balls out of the ballpark and take advantage of the Crawford boxes at home, I don't care where they hit the home runs. A home run is a home run, okay? At the end of the season, they don't go, well, 10 of your home runs are at home and only 5 are on the road, so that victory doesn't count. It counts. If it's out of the park, it's out of the park. And so that is what I would like to see. I need to see the Astros power surge continue. And it's a little concerning with me because one guy that we thought would bring a lot of power to the lineup and has started heating up probably won't be swinging a bat here for a day or two. But Eric, that's what I like to see. I want to see more home runs and I want to see them more often.
All right, so I'm going to correct myself. The Astros are currently, as of 8/17 on Wednesday evening, they are 1 game behind the Mariners.
Yeah, so they would essentially be with the Mariners loss, they would be a half game out.
Yes.
So Eric, so do you understand what I'm saying about the power? I mean, we need more home runs. We need more DeCenzo bombs. We need You know, we need guys going yard. We need Yainer Diaz to start going yard more. That guy's he's walking more. He still needs to get the ball out of the ballpark. I want to see a Caratini home run. I mean, we just need to see that more. It needs to continue to progress. We can't be happy with the team can't be happy with where they are.
Well, what you're seeing, Brett, and I like seeing this, is you're seeing the lineup as a whole producing more. I know Rogers played today. He didn't really get much done. He was 0 for 2 in his time, and then Diaz pinch hit for him and played catcher the rest of the game. He went 0 for 2. But most of the players in the lineup, Altuve, after getting 4 hits the day before, I'll excuse the 0 for 4 in today's game. But for the most part, Caratini has been one of the hottest Astros recently. And Paredes, after going 0 for yesterday, he got a RBI today, a walk, and scored a run. So the lineup is scoring, getting the job done, or doing something for the most part. And you're seeing production. That's why you're seeing, and I know you probably thought it, I probably thought it, oh, the Astros scored more than 10 runs yesterday. They're going to get shut out today. And that's it. That's what it always seems like. But if you think about it, the past 2 seasons, when the Astros scored 10 plus runs, they're actually 6 and 7 the next day. So they don't have like this bad losing record. It just seems like it, because you Astros fans, we have convinced ourselves that, oh, the Astros got all the runs out in one day, then they're not going to score.
Yeah, I think that trend has stopped. But you know, I'm looking back, Eric, as you're talking about this, in the last 4 or 5 games, we do have. There was only one game today where they didn't have any extra base hits outside of DeCenzo's home run. Everything was a single.
Right.
But even in the 5-3 victory versus the Mariners, you had 3 doubles and 1 home run. In that game where you had the 4 home runs and you had like 4 or 5 doubles. Those are the kind of games they need to have more of. I mean, the Rays are coming into town. The Rays are hot right now. And hopefully you can continue to catch fire, because Eric, in their last 22 games, they have won 17. They're 17-5 in their last 22 home games. That's pretty outstanding.
Yeah. So the Astros are playing good at home right now. They're a better home team, like you talked about earlier. They didn't play the Rays good last time, but that was at that minor league ballpark. And I'm not going to make excuses for why the Astros lost 2 of those games or whatever it was, but I think it was
a very winnable series.
Yeah, it was a very winnable series, but I think the Astros, the momentum is on their side. It doesn't matter what team they're playing right now. Yeah, the A's are not a very good baseball team right now. They have some good young prospects, but I just think that the Astros are playing confidently. You see them this is maybe when you see that long winning streak. I'm not going to say they're going to get to 10, but
yeah, I mean, you took 3 out of 4 from the Mariners, so it's not like we've just been beating up bad teams. So you literally 5-1 in your first 6 games at home. How many times last year did they come home and they go 1-5 or 2-4?
Couldn't hit the ball. That's why they had to paint the backdrop.
Someone sent me a message. I think they fixed the batter eye issue. And I'm like, no, I think the hitting coaches are actually doing their job.
Are we going to say this every day, Brett?
Well, I'm just saying, because everybody's been harping on fire the hitting coach. And then you get Jose Altuve crediting Alex Centrone and helping him continue to work through stuff.
Yeah.
I did a little montage of it on TikTok. If you follow me on TikTok, go check it out. And but this is what you want to see. It is a marathon, not a sprint. You don't have to win everything and every award and be leading in every single category, but they absolutely have to become a more extra base hitting team than they've been. And that needs to be a bigger part of their offense. And if they do that, you take more stress off the pitchers. And I think you can continue to see this team climb higher and higher above 500.
But Brett, I know they're not going to win every category, but this Dane bullpen, it's doing pretty good.
Unreal.
Like, who would have thought this bullpen, especially with the season Hader had last season? Guys, we'll go and continue this discussion on the Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. He is Brett Chancey. Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go ahead and check us out. So I know we've been talking a lot about the bullpen. The bullpen has been very effective, especially with a lot of the arms that the Astros let go. Maybe they knew something about Ryan Presley and said it's time to go ahead and trade him away. The Astros went out and got Josh Hader last year. Everybody's like, why did you get Josh Hader when you had America's closer and Ryan Presley? Maybe they knew something. Maybe they knew that Ryan Presley was on the decline. And so they made some other moves. They have a lot of young guys in the bullpen, guys that you probably didn't think you'd be relying on. But one of the guys that the Astros thought that they'll be relying on in the rotation is Ronel Blanco. And when you hear that second opinion, when you're talking about inflammation in the elbow, it's hard not to think that it's not going to have something to do with Tommy John. And it was confirmed today that he is indeed going to have Tommy John surgery, and he's going to miss the rest of this season and a big chunk of 2026 as well.
Yeah, a minimum of 12 months, more like 15 to 18 is what it will take. West Texas Mark is asking, do you think the bullpen will get taxed now with that we're down another pitcher? As long as the starting pitchers that are in the game go 6 to 7 innings, I think the bullpen will be able to withstand it. Eric, you've seen Sean Dubin come back from his injury, pitch really well. Forrest Whitley got in there, got to get some solid work in as well this weekend, this week. And so the guys that are getting in there are doing their job. And if they're starters, because I'm hearing that Spencer Arrighetti probably won't be back till around July from his injury, which stinks because if you had him, there's a lot less stress on these guys. But you've got to go with the guys that you have. And the starters know what to do. I mean, Lance McCullers, and we haven't mentioned this part of it, he went over 100 pitches today, Eric. I mean,
I mentioned 102. Yeah.
Do what now? Oh,
I mentioned, yeah.
Okay, 102. But if you would have told me, Eric, that Lance McCullers Jr. on May 28th was going to throw 102 pitches and 6 innings and 12 strikeouts, I'd be like, this is the Lance McCullers we've been talking about. And that is what you need. It is up to the pitchers to execute. It is also up to the defense to defend behind the pitchers because that is key. You've got to keep away from errors. You got to keep away from errant throws. We've seen a couple of those in the last couple of series. Jeremy Pena's got to be a little bit more decisive. He's gotten a lot of balls that are in between shortstop and the pitcher's mound where he's last minute tried to plant and go to second instead of getting one out, and he's thrown the ball in the outfield a couple times. So we've seen some errant throws here and there. The defense needs to tighten up. The defense needs to get runners out at home when they're coming home, and the starters need to go the length. They need to go 6 or 7 innings, and you're going to see the guys like AJ Blueball, Colton Gordon, guys like that get chances and get opportunities to go in there. But I like our bullpen, and I think we have the arms to do it. So I wouldn't be too worried right now. Cross your fingers, hope that everybody else stays healthy.
Logan Van Wy hit the IL for the Space Cowboys, so he's not going to be an option for the Astros anytime soon. But like you said, if the Astros rotation goes at least 5 innings, the bullpen should stay strong. You have some guys that could go multiple innings. Dubin can go multiple innings. Forrest Whitley can go multiple innings. But if you do that, then you can't use them back-to-back days. So there's certain stipulations when you go multiple innings. But as going back to Ronel Blanco, Espada said it's very, very difficult. I know how hard he's worked to get to this point, and it stinks. So the goal now is to get him healthy, get him back at some point this next season. It's very, very difficult, but Blanco's a strong man. He'll bounce back, and we expect him to come back and be strong again. So it's good news. Spencer Arrighetti, he's playing catch. So that's a start to his comeback. So if Spencer Arrighetti can come back and be the guy that he was at the last part of the season last year, that would be a big plus for the Astros.
That would be huge. Okay, so JD65 is bringing us some solutions. You ready, Eric?
Sure.
No, Cintron needs to be fired. That would get this team's attention. Jordan needs to start playing and quit whining. If he's that fragile, then why keep him if he can't play?
Well,
that's sometimes reality sets in with baseball players. He's no Byron Buxton. He's no Carlos Correa. But when he is healthy, is one of the most dangerous hitters in the lineup. And Alex Centrone, I mean, the Astros are winning more home games than they've won in the last few years, probably almost combined, it seems like, in this stretch. So no, you're not firing the hitting coach. It's only going to make the players feel like they didn't do enough. And let's see, how did that go in Arlington? Let's see. They hired Brett Boone. They won like the first 2 games. Let's see where the Rangers are. The Rangers are under 500. They're 3-7 their last 10 games. It doesn't fix the team. The hitting coach does not get you to the plate. Now, if you're talking about a coaching philosophy and a regime change, and if there's a clubhouse culture, then you're going to let go of Joe Espada. You're going to let go of the hitting coaches. You're going to reset the table. The Astros don't need that. I mean, look at this. Look at the Cincinnati Reds. They hired Coach Francona. They're a 500 ball club. Francona was supposed to come in and turn things around. It's not the coaching. It's what's going on between the ears. And you have to get guys like Diaz chasing less baseballs out of the zone, which he's doing a little bit better. Jake Meyer's success is because he's chasing less and he's walking more. There is some improvement. When Chaz gets in, he's got to hit. When Dubon gets in, he's got to hit. And I think if you look at our 7 through 9 hitters, we have some of the most successful guys. And Cam Smith today, Eric. Cam Smith has the most opposite field hits, like third most and the highest average on opposite field hits in the league. I think he's second. I think he's second to Aaron Judge. He's an elite company when it comes to hitting the ball the opposite direction. So I don't see the point of firing anybody at this point. I know and I understand it's been frustrating, but this team has got to ride the highs and the lows. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. Stay even keel. And that will go a long way, because once you get in the playoffs, it's anybody's game.
Well, I think a lot of people ask why we don't get more upset. I think it's the fact that we've been Astros fans for a while. We've seen the losing seasons. We've seen the success during the 90s, during the late 2000s. We've seen everything. So I think it goes in ebbs and flows. And so you have to take the success, you have to take the failure and learn from the mistakes. And I think what the Astros have been doing is learning from their mistakes this year to get better. But to go ahead and throw Alvarez, well, why can't he grip the bat? Well, like today, Christian Walker got hit by a 96-mile-per-hour fastball and stayed in the game. He was giving high fives. He thought everything was okay. Then it came to his time to bat in the 6th inning, and he tried to grip the bat, and he could not. And so he heard something that any Astros fan, no matter how big a Christian Walker fan you are or not, Mauricio Dubon pinch hitting for Christian Walker. And so that was a situation where he had, I think Caratini went to go play first, or somebody else went to go play first. But if you can't grip the bat, you're not going to be able to swing. And so if you're not comfortable holding it, Alvarez, no matter how good an athlete he is, he's not going to be able to follow through. He's not going to be able to do anything. That's probably why he was struggling towards the end. That's not going to put any excuses on the rest of the season. But the good news on Christian Walker is that the x-rays were negative. It's just some inflammation. He said after the game, he's sore. It's just a matter of how to handle the inflammation. I would be surprised if he's A, in the lineup because of the inflammation, and B, Caratini has been on fire. Why don't just let him play first base?
Well, hey, I don't know if you heard this name, but we've got the NCAA like super regionals and tournaments leading up to the College World Series. And Jace Louvier, who is one of the top prospects in college baseball, Eric, broke his hand one game. And then the next game came in and pinch hit and got an RBI single to help the Aggies win that game. So if Jace Louvier can do it, why can't Jordan, right? I'm just saying. Come on, man. Come on. What's the matter? You soft, Jordan? I'm all joking aside. That was actually a pretty amazing thing to see. Now he's actually out for the SEC tournament. So that is That is the real nuts and bolts of it. Unfortunately, the Aggies won't have him. Who knows if they have him if they make it to the World Series? Because, Eric, that guy's supposed to go number one. But, again, Blanco down, Walker down for right now. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. But I think this is what the Astros need to do. And I'll give you my last point. Stop telling us all these different things about Jordan. Don't tease me with he's swinging the bat. Because when I hear the message, he's swinging the bat every day, but yet he's not ready to swing the bat in the game, that makes me sound like you're not letting his hand rest and heal. So don't tell me he's hitting 4 times during the day, but he can't hit when it comes game time, because it's really bad marketing. So there you go. Eric, you can bring yourself back in. I'm not going to go on my rant.
I'm going to make something that says thoughts by Chancey or something.
Jesus, oh Lord. Well, here's the deal, man. We get plenty upset on this podcast, and I've had plenty of rants on this podcast, but we know that this is, again, a marathon, not a sprint.
Yes. So I think the Astros just need to play some great baseball over the next few days against the Rays. The Rays are they're kind of a team that's in the middle. They're trying to decide if they're a winning team or a losing team. They've traded some players over the past couple of years, but they do have the talent to do it, but they can't seem to commit to holding these guys. So we'll see what happens. So yes, my internet went out last night. That's why I was So I'm not going to freeze tonight, but guys, thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us. Go and make this first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go and check us out. Hopefully we'll be talking about another Astros victory and Astros being 6 game over 500. And we'll see what happens. Tomorrow's a new day, and go Stros.
Wow. You can't let me have my Go Stros. You can't do it.